This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search from my site. I'm in West New York, uh, New Jersey. This is New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. This is a El Salvador restaurant. It's Sunday night. I think I'm the only one here. This is my second attempt to solicit participation via Twitter with uh, Google Hangouts. The trend I'm following is Burundi, and in short, there's a leader who has announced insistence on being elected again, and it has triggered political violence. It has escalated, and the news today is that the U.S. has uh, warned U.S. citizens to leave Burundi. So even though I have very little to say until someone gets on, I'll be reading tweets. So I will scan. It's very hard for me to know what to say right now because I believe I might reach two audiences. There is a possibility someone is going to click on a link and hear my voice, but they're never going to hear introductory words into what I'm saying. Now, there's another possibility that this gets stored on YouTube and someone listens to it there. So I really have two prospective audiences here. The the first one I just can't reach. They're going to click in into the middle of this, and I'm going to be talking, and they might start talking. My only click that I got so far was last night in New York City. I was soliciting participation relative to Santa Con, and that someone's mic did open, although they didn't speak. So if someone opens and speaks, then we will begin a conversation. Some From that point forward, I can't estimate what will happen. It'll be some kind of conversation, maybe multi-person conversation. Certainly multi being two, but maybe multi being three, four, or I'm prepared to go as many as I can get. So the second audience, if you are wondering what this is, you found it on my YouTube. You missed it. It is highly unlikely that you will find what follows to be entertaining, interesting, because it's going to be a lot of silence and maybe some multi-person participation. And it'll be scattered somewhere throughout the next hour. Perhaps the people that find it on YouTube will have come with a specific cue to a point in this audio. Hey, that'd be great. Then I not only send you to YouTube, but I tell you where to start listening because I claim something happened that is worth listening to. Other than that, I can predict I will not say anything interesting. I am going to read some tweets, you know, so it is not worthy of primary attention what I am saying. It is worthy of secondary attention. So I know that many people in their internet habits, they kind of have background noise. Well, if you choose to have me as background noise, then you'll hear me reading tweets. This is Sunday night. Tweets that are related to tweets that are hitting on a search Burundi, and these are I've read them, you know, 30, 50 of them so far, and they're all related to the Burundi violence in general. More specifically, they're triggered by the announcement of the U.S. John Kerry has been heard on the subject today, and with that, I continue. And I wish I could do better on my visual, but I gotta be staring at my computer, which means anyone that's watching is. Maybe the flowers are a little more interesting. Okay, so while I was blabbing, I got 45 tweets. And again, I got about an hour to do this. I've tweeted twice so far. I did it before I started the broadcast, the the, the webcast, the the hangout. Now I'm live on the hangout, live streaming. The top tweet right now is in a language that I don't recognize. Bene is an Italian word, but the word that follows it might not be Italian, so I'm leaving that one alone. Here's a person. I try not to. I try to find people. Here, this one is Jade E. Davis. She's Associate Director, Learning Projects, inherently interdisciplinary. She's a PhD. She's got, her skin color is not clear, but her hair is just two times the size. She's got on one side of her head, she's got enough hair to be the side of her face, size of her face. On the other side of her head, she's got that much hair again. So this hair is of African descent, and it's cool. She's a PhD, media and tech ecologist and theorist. She's also a mom. She did stuff, tweets her draft thoughts. That's the first time I've seen that. That's clever. Okay. So this woman just writes Burundi, and that is probably appropriate given that I don't really think anyone knows what to say. So I'm just going to simply say PhD, mom, woman, Burundi. I put my link and and I find my media. I discovered this last night. I got to go to my folder that holds my images and delete the other ones. It speeds it up a little bit. So right now when I go hunting for my image to post with my tweet, there's a brief delay and it speeds up ever so slightly if I delete the images in that folder I don't need. So there goes that one, and there goes that one, and that one. I'm only deleting three. It's probably not going to make a huge difference. So this is a classic moment where, my first trial on this open mic concept was last night. I didn't get any participation. I did have one person that opened his or her mic, said nothing, closed it, within seconds, less than 15 seconds. So I don't know if I was talking, and I don't know what he or she would have heard if while the mic was open. But I, this would be declared a failure. However, a twisted definition can say, well, here I am back the next night, and I'm trying it again. So yes, it was unsuccessful in reaching its goal of soliciting participation with using Twitter for Google Hangouts open mic. However, here I am back the next night, so I obviously don't feel it's such a disaster that I just can't do it again. And I'm doing it the next night. It's about 2 in the morning in Burundi, and this thing was, so the whole country's not in violence. A lot of the people in Burundi are in bed. I was just going to say the tweets have slowed a little bit, but they didn't. While I was talking, they were in the double digits. So let's see what I have here. I got, this person is on a job search. This this man explains in his 100 characters his filtering system. He's also in a job search. His name is David Baumgartner. Baumgartner, someone famous named Baumgartner. I think it's Hollywood. But anyway, I don't. This one is not a Twitter verified profile. So I'm going to say job search man. Here we go. Job search man. And there's his Twitter ID. And he posts a video. So I'm going to say vid drums of Make Buko, which of course is a video I don't know. Now I add my Google link and I go get my picture, which even though I deleted 3 files is no faster. And I have my open mic JPEG. Job search man. Bumpy Night is his arroba, his Twitter ID. Arroba Bumpy Night vid. Drums of Makebuko. Oh, I didn't add the Burundi. I gotta add Burundi. Burundi. Okay. I got my media. Ciao. There goes, I'm still in the single digits on my tweets. And I have about, you know, 30 minutes left. Oh, I have maybe an hour remaining. I did this for 2 hours yesterday. It was a little more visually stimulating location. I was in the subway. Of course, with creature comforts, it's way down, but with just a open-ended, I could stay there all day. All it is a flow of traffic through a tunnel. I don't get any sense that I'm overstaying. And here, at the end of this hour, I feel like I'll be wearing my welcome pin. So I don't know if I'll stay that long. Here we go. Amelie loves family, friends, and music, cycling, politics. Damn thing is, I don't know. Emile. I'm going to take the time to do it. So I'm going to type in Emile and I'm going to attempt to find out if this person is a male or a female. I don't know the gender of this name. I know the gender of several names that are very close in spelling, but not this one. Images. Yeah, this is definitely a woman. And looking at my 3 pages of Amile, they're white women with blonde hair, or certainly fair skin, light complexion, not of African descent. And this is a this is about Burundi. This is Africa, and the people in Burundi are very dark. The neighboring country has Mugabe, and he's like his skin is like midnight black. He's one of the darkest, certainly one of the most famous darkest men I know. Anyways, Emile. Let's see what she said. She loves family, friends, art, and music. Let's see if I can find a clue what her interest in Burundi is. No, reading old booty, life never ceases to amaze. She just seems to have an open mind. Um, so we're going to say we're not going to say anything. I'm going to say family, friends, music woman. Family, friends, music woman. What is this alternative universe? And I'm going to do the Spanish question mark and say alternative universe. This restaurant where I'm in is comfortably loud. The TV is loud. I had someone who appeared to be an owner kind of look at me. I would guess he's Central American, probably El Salvador, and he kind of smiled warmly, which makes me think my hour here will be I'll be comfortably safe. Burundi, Burundi. Okay, family, friends, music, woman, alternative universe, Burundi. And I add my Google link. I go for my media, and I have a delay there, and I just don't know why. I wish I could fix it. So again, anyone who's listening, this is a format. This is a second attempt. I'm on Twitter. I've got a routine on Twitter that I just love. I solicit engagement with a kind of a routine process, and Hello. Okay, no, I just took a break. See if my Hangout is still operating. My Hangout, hola, Hangout is still operating. I have some chips, and it's going to be obnoxious. Okay, so two audiences. If you're listening to this recorded, don't listen to me chewing. This is my warning to you. If you find it offensive, then fast forward. Now, the other audience is potentially live streaming, and I know I have no one right now. However, someone could click on one of my links, and the first thing they hear is me chewing. So I will try to be talking as I chew. So what I'm doing is what I've been doing with recreational time on Twitter. I have this routine on Twitter where I solicit engagement, and I do quite well. I get people to follow me is what they do most. Probably like is what they do next most, but it's almost tied with retweets and uh, 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 replies. So if you add a retweets, replies, and retweets, reply, which is also called a mention, a retweet, and a like, they're kind of, in somewhat comparable numbers. And anyways, it makes it quite fun when I'm following. The best experience I had on this recently was with the anniversary of John Lennon's death, which was on the 30, which was the 35-year anniversary, December 8th. So that was only by text. So I figured if I can get solicitation by text, mentions, retweets, follows, likes, then maybe I can get participation by voice from strangers following a trend. So that's what I'm doing. I really feel bad if someone clicks on the link and the only thing they hear is me chewing. But this is not a professional production, and I have no excuse for it. I could turn my mic on and off, but I'm afraid I'd have it off when I want it to be on, and I'm not going to take that chance. So again, two audiences. You're hearing me chewing, and you're listening to this on YouTube. Fast forward. Oh, when I took that break, I had 41 new tweets. So this is not fiery hot trend. However, it's active. Again, it's about two in the morning in Burundi. And the tweets I have found so far seem to be people who are not in Burundi. They're just people like me following the news or professionals who have a specific assignment with Africa. I did hear one report, one professional news report. It sounded very detailed. These people really knew what was going on in Burundi. And then they finished by saying, from Nairobi, which I believe is Kenya, which is not only the next country over, I think it's the second next country over. They might share a border. I could be wrong about that, but they're Nairobi. If it is Nairobi, Kenya, if there could be a Nairobi, Burundi, but it's not the capital of Burundi. The Burundi capital is something else. So that person is not in Burundi either, and they were a professional media pro man, I think. Live life, love. Uh, Winnie. It takes me a second. click to see if Winnie's picture is a male or a female. It's him or her, kind of in a landscape scene, and in the micro picture of Twitter, I can't determine if it's a man or a woman. Winnie to me is a Winnie Mandela is the one I know. Probably a woman, but I don't want to guess. There's enough people on here I do know. Here's someone, definitely a female picture, and it's Suzanne. Great, she's passionate, bunch of other things. She says enough about herself, so let's see what her tweet is. Yeah, this is great. She's retweeted someone. So she's a global humanitarian. Global humanitarian woman. And her name is Suzanne. This is great. Seems to be a person, not a anonymous profile, not a pseudonym. So, uh, passionate humanitarian woman and call for peace. Burundi. Add my Google link. Add my media. Now I get in a cafe like this and I completely tune out to my surroundings. I tune into Twitter. I have my back to the most of the restaurant because I deliberately chose a table in the corner where the TV is loud. And then I get paranoid that I'm overstaying my welcome. So the break that I took, I bought some chips and a coffee. And she, of course, knew that I'd been here way longer than needed to drink an espresso. So she asked me for $1, which was kind of like saying, there's the door. But it could also just be saying she expected that I was leaving. I had my jacket on. And I've now concluded the former explanation is the truth. I have a feeling not I'm not welcome here. I'm not overstaying my welcome. I feel more comfortable than I did before my break. All right, this guy's cool. I'm going to call him a Burundi tweet man. He says tonight I mostly tweet about, and I don't think his tweet says tonight. His profile says I mostly tweet about, and one of those abouts is Burundi. So he's got Burundi in his profile, and I would know this name as a male or a female just by looking at the name, but his picture profile tells me he's a man, and the tweet is Sweden stands with Burundi. So I will call him Burundi tweet man. Sweden stands with Burundi. Put my Google. I put my Google link here, and I get my JPEG. I just saw New York touchdown. I wonder what they did to the Jets. The lights just changed in this. They're experimenting with some. Bueno, uh, they turned the music up and went to sort of nightclub lighting, but it was just a test. The lights have gone back on in this restaurant. Uh, oh, here's it. Social entrepreneur. Here we go. And here is this man is of African descent, and I have a feeling he's African, and I don't know why. Why do I think that? Well, because his background, I don't know. His shirt, he's not so dark. He's not like Robert Mugabe dark. Um, but maybe this is the giveaway. Okay, yo. Okay, ELLO. And he also says it's burning in Burundi. So this is a great one. So okay, yo. I'm gonna say social entre EUR. I finally got to spell that word right. Social entrepreneur. I forgot to put man. Social entrepreneur man. And I will put Burundi is burning. Add my Google link. Um, I've been in restaurants like this where they're single restaurant owner, operator, and one guy really, he didn't kick me out, but his discomfort with me staying so long was abundantly obvious. So I left. I returned once. That time I was brief. I'm not getting the same sense here. There's a man I think is clearly the Hefe. Now this woman seems African. There's a lot of reasons in their profile picture and in the cover photo and her name, Umu Vuga. Now, of course, given that this is an African subject, I'm going to give preference for people who seem African. Yeah, and even her profile, she says Western countries want. She's speaking of Western countries like mine, as if she's speaking of them in third person, which would also be something an African would say, or an Asian, or an Indian. India is kind of Western in a lot of ways, but certainly Burundi is not. So she is. That was in her profile, so I'm going to call Western countries want woman. That sounds kind of silly. Western countries want women, so I'm going to put dashes in there, which I think is grammatically correct. It also makes Western countries want an adjective and not saying Western countries want women. Sounds like sexual overtones with an improperly punctuated version. So that's who she is. Now I got to add Burundi defending themselves. Now, this woman speaks of Burundi in third person also. So she, if I'm right that she's African, then themselves, then she is not from Burundi. So she would be African, but not Burundi, is my guess. Again, this is from a micro picture, which I could expand with a click, but I don't because it takes too long. If I feel motivated to expand with a click, I usually pick a different profile. So there goes my image, and off goes my tweet. I'm certainly in the double digits now with this tweet, but probably not at 20 yet. And I have probably another half hour remaining. I'm doing this to my wife. Pings me from her travels home. All right, this guy is cool. He is of African descent. His background says Celtics playoffs, and he's a point guard. So is this guy an NBA player? Probably not, because he's not Twitter verified. However, I'm going to call him a point guard man. Uh, so I'm going to say point Guard, and I'm going to call him an NBA man, which he's probably a fan and not a player. But who knows? He's tweeting in French. This could be. I'm almost sure it's French. Bueno. And so Burundi, and I'll see if I can get some French out of this. Burundi. President military. Now, those are the two words I picked out of there. They're in French. Spelling's very close. I'm sure I got it right. But I don't know. I'm not going to take the time to put it into translator. So I'm not going to say what he's tweeting. I'm just doing the nouns. President, Burundi, military. I'm not making an attempt to translate how he's connecting those. So I'm adding my open mic image. Okay, this my first attempt on this was my first attempt on this was last night, and I'm saying this open mic, this idea of Twitter solicitation I've been doing routinely for a while, able to get engagement in text almost reliably. Now, I say that, and I haven't yet on this one, but I usually get a like or a retweet or a follow or something. So far, I have nothing. It's not alarming. I've been doing this so long that sometimes it starts fast, sometimes it starts slow. But if I do it long enough, it always starts. And it's the quality of the trend and my available time that keeps me going. So again, if the quality of the trend is good enough, my available time is good enough, I always get something. A follow, a like, a retweet, a mention. So that part is time tested. This attempt to get people to engage in voice, this is new. And that is not time tested. Again, it's new. Here's one that mentions Barack Obama and Burundi. Let's hope it's a profile that I can use. And it's not. This person is Oromo refugees. It's not a person's name. It's not the kind of profile I'm looking for. It's interesting. This is a second Canadian link of someone tweeting. I don't know why they would be more interested in Burundi than anyone else. The U.S. and the European countries. So it's only the second. It doesn't really mean anything, but it makes me curious. So this is great. She's a wife and a mother, so I'm going to call her. Her name is. She doesn't really have a person name here, so I'm going to say wife, mother, woman, and no one cares. Burundi. I am just so happy with my restaurant. I have both a TV that is loud, I can hear it clearly through my muffs. They got music playing. Occasionally they F with the lights. And they seem comfortable with me being here. I should have said that woman was Canadian. Now this woman's Twitter. There we go. There we go. My first my first interaction. Again, it's text, not voice. So let's go. I'll go. And I got a retweet. So there we go. And it is not the person I tweeted to. So I will follow this person. And this is great because the person's backdrop is a seems to I think I've seen this so many times tonight. It's got to be the Burundi flag. Yeah, and this woman is a she's a daughter, a wife, and a mother. She's a Burundi lover until victory is won. Oh, so this is absolutely awesome. So this is the kind of thing that keeps me going, and I now have this voice option where people could engage in voice. This woman has engaged in text, and she seems to be Burundi. Um, whether she's a Burundi resident or not is unclear. I'm guessing she is. She's a Burundi lover. I don't know if that phrase fits for also a Burundi resident, but I think she is from the country, certainly loyal to the country in some way. So I'm going to say wife, mother, daughter, wife, mother, daughter, woman. Wife, mother, daughter, Burundi, lover, woman. Burundi dash lover. just going to say defending themselves. Add my Google link. This is great fun. I'm so glad that this is highly relevant uh, to this woman. She's on her profile. You know, it's. I'm gonna check what time it is in Burundi. Uh, so time in Burundi. It's after midnight, 1:12 a.m. Uh, and I just wish I knew if she was a resident of Burundi. So even though I was unable to get any voices, I did get one mic that opened last night on my first attempt at Google Hangout Twitter open mic. One mic opened and then closed. Now, that's from someone clicking on my link, inviting them to participate. But there's also a way you can get to Google Hangouts and be an audience member. You can hear me speak without being heard. And my click history on tells me I might have gotten as many as 7 of those. And but again, no voices. However, I mean, I've done this for a half hour. I already got a woman here. It's got a Burundi flag as a backdrop for her Twitter profile. It's got a profile picture that also has the Burundi flag. And then she describes herself as wouldn't live without God, books, loved, daughter, mother, wife, Burundi lover until victory is won. and and she's retweeted me. So this is great. This is maybe 30 minutes into this session. So onward, back to Burundi. My chips are gone, which I'm glad about. And this is a Sunday night. I am burning time like any other middle-aged man who wife is centrally focused on his wife's life, centrally focused on his marriage. Sunday night, wife is working. What does middle-aged man do with himself? I couldn't be happier right now. You know, this is a lot of guys, American men would be watching NFL, and this is way more interesting to me. Here we go, 2 more tweets. Let's see what's happening. If here's a Raquel. Uh, 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 yeah, this is Spanish. Reparate y se come juntos. So I'm going to assume that's come is come, and I'm going to call her come together woman. We're always on the internet. I'm wondering who's listening with a sexual twist to my words. That is COME. And so she's come together woman, and I don't protect you. Uh, Violencia a Burundi. So I have enough on her. She is come, COME, together woman. And violence in Burun, Burundi. Now my Google link. Add my open mic JPEG. Now the woman that retweeted me, again, a self-described Burundi lover. This is this has made the night for me. I just uh, yeah, horror in the capital of Burundi. But this appears to. I always prefer profiles that appear to be people and not organizations. Again, prefer. Uh, Now this is a man who has several men in his profile picture, so I'm not going to use him. Here's someone else that has nothing in the profile. Here's a news organization. Don't care about that. Here's Virginia Institute. Here, this looks like a name. It also looks like an African name. A double Nala. That's got to be African. Nala. Cerrado? No, bueno. Gracias. And there I go. I got a second interaction. I got Rachel following me. Could not be happier. So unfortunately, this Nala, um, Nala is has no text on her profile. I'm saying her because of the Disney character. Nala is a female. here's a here's a yeah, great. Here's a man, Dastan. That could be African. Ooh, his backdrop is skulls, like a lot of them. I mean, in the human skulls. Yuck. Okay, governance policy researcher advocate. Um, so this person is unquestionably cool. So here we go. It seems to be a media probe man, but he doesn't say that. So I am going to go back to his profile. Governance policy research advocate man. Govern policy research advocate man. And his tweet is about U.S. warning. U.S. warning. Burundi. Add my Google link. Add uh, add my open mic. Add my open mic. Add my open mic. JPEG, and I'm done. I'm having a blast. So I'm going to go to see who. It's Rachel who followed me, but I forget who Rachel is. So I'm going to click on notifications, and very soon I'm going to know who Rachel is. Yeah, there she is. Rachel is. Rachel is. Oh, she's the one that tweeted in Spanish. I called her "Come Together Woman." So I will do that again and call her "Come Together Woman." She's got some art as her backdrop. She looks Latino. Maybe Rachel Sancho. She sure could be Mexican, Mexicana. Um, and the art she has Now I'm on her bigger profile. I've done all this interaction with all. This is only like the second um, magnified profile I'm on, and she doesn't say where she's from. So Rachel is about to get a reply tweet from me. Yeah, and her top tweet, it was 7 minutes ago. The top tweet, which is the one that I captured, I caught, that got my attention, is still her top tweet. Some of these people that tweet, by the time they get my attention, 7 minutes is like 15 more tweets. I'm down to sometimes a second page just to find the tweet that got my attention in the first place. So I'm going to call her Come Together Woman follows me, Google link, and then grazie. Grazie. And I'm going to add, ooh, doesn't really fit in the context of this, but all my tweets are getting this tag, Burundi. It is just crazy that I can open this live feed and and have this happen. I mean, this is free. I'm in a cafe drinking a couple of coffees. It's going to cost me a grand total of a couple bucks with my chips, less than five with a tip. And I have this nice woman, Rachel Sancho, who has followed me. And again, she was tweeting about Burundi. And what her special interest in Burundi is not obvious in her profile. It's certainly not obvious in mine either. However, the other woman, the first woman that interacted with me, um, her connection to Burundi was obvious in her profile picture, her backdrop, and her tweet, and her profile text. So in four different places, she could say Burundi. She said Burundi in all four places. So now I will go back to my search. So far I got two people who have interacted with me, and so for me anymore, with all my life on the internet, of course I get some sense of warmth, some more authentic interaction if I talk to someone live. But with the way I use Twitter today, it's the gap has closed. The John Lennon 35th anniversary of his death, of his murder. Um, that was, I had a real sense of warmth for from just text. That was kind of special. That was very emotional. It was a memorial to John. There were memorial events happening that were also being tweeted about, and my interaction had a John Lennon uh, image to go with it, and just the reply was very warm and just added this kind of nice, authentic, emotional human interaction thing. That's as close as I've ever come to what I consider more traditional social interaction, traditional satisfying social interaction that's not in traditional methods. In this case, Twitter, complete strangers. So now I've tried it twice since then. SantaCon last night was not. Again, I didn't get my main target, which was to get someone to interact by voice, uh, but I did get interaction by text. I also had someone open the mic and close it, which gives me some sense that um, gives me some sense that um, the tech part of it worked. But again, the mic open and close, no voice. Now tonight I've got this nice interaction. Two women so far, and the woman who has the primary attention in my life is Hannah, and she should be tweeting any momento. And I will be going to Food Bazaar, which is very near the restaurant where I am, get clams for spaghetti vongole, which Hannah will make tonight. And okay, here's three more tweets. Here's someone, a woman calls herself Miss D. Yeah. Now she could be African. She is definitely of African descent. Her hair hangs straight. Um, and true seeker of all things, beautiful, intelligent. I have no doubt that she is beautiful. I were to zoom in on that picture. She's got a nice shape to her, and she describes herself as beautiful. I trust she is. Beautiful, intelligent, truth seeker of all things. If path taken is right, all good things. Publicist, business manager. Oh, ho, ho. And there's an email address. I will add that to my list. And Miss D will get an opportunity to listen to credit card debt talk. She will also have the opportunity to unsubscribe from the list I'm about to put her on. So it's a list I use about once a week. Always on the occasion of a fresh, always on the occasion of a fresh uh, credit card debt talk, which is scheduled once a week, but Adam and I don't keep that. We're not as disciplined as we need to be to actually make it weekly, but it ends up being about three times a month. So we let things get in our way. All right, so now I've got self-described beautiful woman who is now on my spam list. So she is going to be described as beautiful, intelligent, truth seeker woman. Oh, isn't that a nice resume? Beautiful, intelligent, truth seeker woman. It's so nice for to read someone using complimentary words to describe themselves. Beautiful, intelligent, truth, truth, trueth, seeker. I knew I didn't spell that right. Okay. Yeah, streetwalker is what Google gives me as a suggestion. Truth seeker. How does she spell it? Truth seeker. That's what I have. No, I don't. I have an E in there. Why would I do such a thing? Truth, but Google still doesn't take it. Truth seeker. Maybe it's not a word. Truth seeker woman. And she tweets that she's got the U.S. warning Burundi. I am just so happy in my Central American restaurant. I just the blender just went on, and it's just happy noises. I got a TV that's loud. They're making juegos, which is very popular in this neighborhood. Beautiful, intelligent, truth seeker woman, U.S. warning Burundi. It's got my open mic JPEG, and it's got ah, Univision is Ted Cruz is allegedly just out trumped Trump. There are people that saying that's a highly biased news source that's done that. Uh, but it is a surprise. That guy is icy cold. Oh, I just had an opportunity to tweet to someone who mentioned John Kerry, who I am a fan of, love John Kerry, voted for him, thrilled with his work to negotiate peace in the world. He's a superstar Secretary of State as far as I'm concerned, and other people, including Z Big, that's arroba Z Big agrees. It's part of the reason I think it. He was the national security advisor to Jimmy Carter. His name is Z Big, arroba Z Big, Big Vinyev is his name. Z Big, arroba Z Big. Intellectual stud. All right, this guy, he just has to be African. He's got that look to him, although he does have a Western style suit and a tie, but he's got a looks like kind of a colonial fashion classroom in his backdrop. He's got some acronyms here that I don't know: GAR, PSRs, at-risk population, Vancouver, help assessing service and build self-confidence and self-reliance. I'm going to put GAR, PSR, GAR, PSR. Let's see if I can remember that. GAR, PSR, man. This guy. Uh, uh, and he writes, Vancouver. Again, I think this is another reference to Canada, which I don't quite get. Oops. Burundi. Vancouver. Mourns. And now I add my open mic. JPEG and tweet. Uh, I really should have heard from my wife by now. So, damn it. She says she's done it. Okay, that was only 4 minutes ago. I expected her to finish at 6. Her tweet says 6:30. I missed the media hour. So, haha, don't worry about me. Burundi is much more in need of your prayers. Okay, this guy looks cool. Advocate of working on displacement, peacekeeper, protection of civilians. There we go. There we go. Uh, I don't know what that is. It's the Vancouver. It's a very most recent tweet, and it's a like. Awesome. And it is the man that I sent it to. So the man who I think is African. I don't think his name lets me know. Yeah, I got another ping, but it's a ping of the same event. I'm going to go directly to that. I kind of wanted to do this Michael Boyce. He looks like a cool guy. By the time I come back, he'll be too far down the list. So, ciao, Michael. I miss you on this opportunity. And there he is, Jean Claude. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so Jean Claude gets an expanded. Let's see if I can find something more about him. Yeah, this guy's African. And yeah, he's in British Columbia. He's a man of African descent. I mean, recent African descent is my sense. Not like 12 generations ago with the slave trade, but more recent by his own choice rather than forced immigration of slavery that brought African descent people to North America and Caribbean countries and Central and South America. And So he's British Columbia man. Liked my tweet. I like him. So I call him British Columbia Canada man. British Columbia Canada man liked my Burundi tweet, my Google link, and grazie. Okay, so that is now three, I think. I got a follow, I got a like, and I got a yeah. He's got a backdrop. This Jean Claude NBZ has got a backdrop of a African. Looks like a boys' prep school. They've got colonial inspired uh, school uniforms, and there's a lot of boys in this picture. I can see, 15 faces, no girls. It's enough for me to conclude this is at least an all boys classroom, maybe an all boys school. And these are very dark black kids with very bright white colonial inspired school uniforms. Cool image. And Jean Claude could, he could be a graduate of the school. If I were to dial the clock back and imagine him as a boy, he would fit right in here. So, it doesn't get cooler than this. Now, what his connection is to Burundi is not is not immediately obvious. British Columbia, Canada. I. But anyways, he's cool. I'm gonna add him. Yeah, he hardly ever tweets. So I can safely put him on my list. No, I won't. I won't. But I am following him. All right. Come on, Hannah. All right, back to my Burundi tweets. Wow, this guy he's got a WordPress post that appears to be his own. And I'm going to call him a news banter man. Uh, of course, I'm giving preference for people who seem to be African, greater preference for people with a link to Burundi. This man is neither. He's a Caucasian. Probably not an American. Some connection with flying. So again, he's a news banter man. News banter man. Burundi. Add my Google link and my open mic JPEG. Okay, well, that was kind of fun. This is, I'm giving preference to people who I think are connected to Burundi. So, is that racist? I don't think so. I'm looking for people who are of African descent in their profile. Now, certainly, someone like Kobe Bryant has no more connection to Burundi than I do, that I know of. And then technically, because I would see Kobe or someone that looks like Kobe in the profile, and I would give closer inspection to that person. And and so, there is good reason to the ethnic violence in the north, in the country north of this one, is referred to me it sounds very different, but it obviously isn't to the people who are a more intimate knowledge of this. Okay, here's a guy with this has got to be an African name, and yeah, see, this is in some African language, and I'm not even going to get a word out of it. But no, with this person, I'm going to take the time. There's some there's some trouble doing what I'm doing because I'm going to take the time to go to translate, and when I navigate away from my window, sometimes I come back, I lose the tweet, and I'm ready to say something, and yeah, Google can't even read this one. I can't get a single word out of it. I'll try to read it. NDI. There's an acronym. I could use that. Umurundi. Oh, Umurundi might be a Burundi man. Wouldn't that be cool? All right, I'm going for it. I'm going to call him a UDI man. Umurundi. Umurundi. I'm gonna take a chance on this one. I'm gonna call him an NDI Burundi man. NDI Burundi man. Again, more Canada. Montreal, Burundi. And he's got a link here. Google wouldn't. Google would not translate his text. Wouldn't even detect the language. I think it's an African tribal language. Probably a Burundi, which is why this guy's getting extra attention from me. And his name is Florian Haki Zimana. Come on, he's got to be African. Uh, and again, a paragraph of text. He tweets in it looks like French. It could be Spanish. No, I think it's French. And yeah, he's talking about Montreal, so it's probably French, not Spanish. And anyways, let's see what that one does. Cool guy. Seems to be a Burundi man living in Montreal. Maybe there's just a lot of Burundi people in Montreal. Maybe that's what's got. Maybe Burundi is a former French colony. Let's see if that's true. Bu- Bu- Burundi, former French colony. Burundi. Uh, history of Burundi. Uh, history of Rwanda. Ties with France. It's maintained. Yep, Burundi gained independence in 1962 and has maintained close ties to France as well as Belgium, the former colonial power. Yeah, so these people are in a difference in addition to however in their languages they speak. They're in addition to their African language, they would speak, their first language, which would be French, their language in their schools, I'm guessing. And then with French-speaking Montreal, maybe a lot of them. I know that's true with Haitians. A lot of Haitians moved to Montreal. So maybe it's also true with people from Burundi. Maybe that's the connection to Canada. It's the language. It's a guess. Uh, South Africa, Burundi living an adventure fueled by grace. A South African called. Okay, this is Lauren. Uh, so she's a South African woman. South Africa uh, woman. Burundiness. Burundi. I'm going to say it just how she does it with a hyphen. Praying. Instagram. And the last one I forgot to add my uh, I forgot to add my open mic JPEG last time, but this time it's there. So that's cool. Burundi. This one is called Congo Friends. Friends of the Congo. I'm going to call it Congo Org. Isn't this cool? Okay, yep, and this is an easy one. Um, Congo Org. Burundi. Add my Google link. Add my JPEG. Okay, I am declaring that I'm about to quit my second session of Twitter, Google Hangout, open mic. And I am just very happy with this. In addition to getting some interaction, I also got interaction from people who appear to have a very personal connection to this. The first one is a woman who, in the tweet, in the tech profile text, in the picture, profile picture, and the background picture, there's four opportunities to say something about oneself. And in all four of those, she said something about Burundi. And then she retweeted me or liked or something. What did she do? She followed. She did something. Now I can't find her. Uh, Maybe she followed me. No, now I can't. It appears the tweet disappeared. So anyway, so when I was most excited about seems to have passed, have disappeared. But whatever. Hannah is getting late. Maybe. Uh, all right. Well, I am definitely doing this again. I'm going to my. The next time I do it, though, I can sit on the other side of the table. Then I'd have a TV in the background. Be a little more. It's going live again. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, a restful night's sleep. Ciao. This was wonderful. Beats NFL.